painted bars at the intersection of 980 and O'Hara Road.
I'll talk about this a little bit. I asked for this to be added to the agenda this evening because of a meeting that we had with Senator Solovey, State Rep White's office, and Supervisor Schrader, myself, and Supervisor Lutz, along with PennDOT.
Everybody was invited to that meeting.
Everyone was invited, yeah, Dawn was there. The recommendation was that we asked PennDOT to look at our traffic. They worked with Chief Bukovinsky, and their recommendation was to paint or to put the flashing lights and the painted bars at this intersection. They felt like it was.
They recommended last year too.
Well, I wasn't part of it.
Okay.
I didn't know that. Right, no, I understand. So, based on their recommendation, we have to approve this, and then they will undertake the engineering and design, at which point we can get a final cost and then move forward. So that's.
And the cost should be about $25,000.
But they'll do.
Flashing lights.
Right, but they'll do the exact.
They're looking at that, and I got a dog van, but I set pretty high. The guardrail and the blocks of the small cars coming down 980.
Which
If
way?
that could go from
Which way is down?
going to Coors Canterbury from here.
Okay, go
Cars
ahead.
coming there, even with lights on their blocks. If that road was taken in Chartiers from the bridge, bought out and leveled off, you'd be able to see a longer distance. I come out a couple of times and you gotta watch real close for
What
cars.
was brought up in the middle? The road?
Chartiers
The road was Chartiers Road.
We actually addressed that issue with them. I mean, State Rep White brought that issue up, and they were adamantly opposed, and that was not something.
I think the three things that came out of this meeting was the fact that they suggested the flashing lights that we talked about tonight. They also suggested that we move up to draw, I guess it's called a bar line, that you move up for, even though the stop sign's back a little bit, they want you to pull up on
Right.
on the road so that you have good sight distance, because a lot of people just don't do that, and that would help alleviate some of the accidents there. And also Chief Bukovinsky has been doing his part in bringing out more police people out there and watching that.
Right.
So if we can approve this tonight, then we can.
1 minute, somebody question Darlene.
Yes, there's another problem with that intersection. When you're coming down Chartiers Run and you want to make a left-hand turn on the 980, you cannot see the traffic. I don't care if there's a blinking light there or not. You cannot see the traffic coming down 980 going south towards Canonsburg, unless you have the whole front of your car out onto 980, because of the, first of all, the guardrail, and then secondly, the weeds are never knocked down or mowed all summer long.
Darlene, I
Yes.
addressed that question at the meeting too, exactly what you're saying. I have some Pontiacs, and Pontiacs sit rather low. And I was worried because the sight distance over top of that guardrail is hard to see.
And usually
I addressed
that's what it happens. That's where the accidents
I did ask
happen.
that question, and that was where they suggested moving up the bar for being able to stop up farther. I think we have to look at it and try that first, and if it doesn't work, then I think maybe we got to ask them about the guardrail too.
What bar, the bar up further, you
Well,
could go through the stop sign, but you still gotta stop before you pull out on the 980, and you
Exactly.
still can't see. And you get too far out there, you're gonna
can't
get
go
your
out.
front end taken off.
I know, I asked that question.
Supervisor Schrader and I addressed that for a very long time with PennDOT, and they were adamant that this was the first step that we had to undertake. before
I
any
understand
other-
that, but I'm saying that's not gonna stop the situation, and that blinking light is gonna be like the blinking light over there at Gladden Road, same way.
We understand that, but we also have to take a first step, so that if this doesn't work, or.
I
if it
hope your
does-
first step is gonna be a big one and just not a baby one. Thank you.
Okay, then, do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. So moved, Carol. Okay, next is, consider the bid from Tarbert Architects for addition to the Cecil Township Municipal Authority. Now, we had talked, I know Donna sent this out in emails to everybody to review, and it's the actual schematic for going over and trying to see if we can put an addition on the building so that the municipal authority can stay with us. When we had the meeting with the municipal authority, we reviewed all the different options that they had, trying to move people around inside. And basically what they were kind of saying to us too is the fact that they felt that it would cramp everybody up. We don't have enough room as it is. So we discussed that maybe if we could put on an addition onto the back like that. And if I'm not mistaken, Dawn, if we had them numbers up, the total for the schematic drawings on this would be about 5,350 or so. Did I have that correct?
I thought it was around 6,500 by memory.
Yeah, that would be for both, and unfortunately, I can't find the document. If you give me a
So
second.
I have it here.
You have it.
But I'd like input from everybody. What does everybody feel? I mean,
6350. 6,350.
I think we need to do it, I mean, I think.
I'm sorry, 5,350, excuse me.
5,350 is what I'm saying, yeah.
I don't understand why we should be putting up this money. I think that this is something the municipal authority should do, not our.
They can't because we own the building and there's issues with them putting out money, but they've agreed that if we undertake this, they understand and they fully expect that we would raise the rent and they would compensate us in that way. They can't because of,
Well, then they should compensate us now. I mean, this was just to talk about what our options are.
I mean, that's actually significantly less than
This was 20,000.
yeah,
To do
the
work
original bid, when they were talking about taking some of the offices that we currently have, they had a bid of $20,000 to do that. So this is significantly less.
Why can't they move down their building?
Move where?
Down their municipal, down their plant. Hey, South Ed's got it, they moved all their people down to their plant, well, not their building.
Well, that's what the board has to decide too, whether they want to keep them here or they want to just.
I mean, the
put them
idea
somewhere
is
else.
to keep all township functions in the same location so that if somebody needs to see the tax collector and make a municipal authority payment or stop in to see, it's all in one location versus having them stop.
Andy just said we're short on space for ourselves right now.
That's why we wanted to make the addition, because the initial idea that was proposed was to give them part of the copier room and part of another office and put them over here. And when we sat down and talked with them, they didn't love the idea to begin with. And then we were concerned that we were limiting our employees who are cramped to begin with. So that's how we, after much negotiation with them, went back and forth and potentially proposed the idea of an addition on the back of the building. It allows us room, the employees of the township, to grow if needed, but it also accommodates the municipal authority.
At a potential cost of $250,000.
That's possible, that's what it could cost to do whenever they do the, after they do the schematic and look at it.
We're gonna put it in the rate for the first year.
Every time the creek comes up, it floods
But,
out.
that's part of this whole study
Fix
that
the
Tim was
road.
saying, whether we want to keep the municipal authority.
How about every
here
time the
or
creek comes up, it
not.
floods the
Their
place
biggest
out?
complaint is we've been talking about this for a very long time, and they would like to see some action or some movement. We're not committing to the $250,000, we're just committing to a drawing that will give us a more definitive
What's
cost.
the money on Coleman Road?
A more definitive cost. No, we're not
I
yet.
didn't hear you, what did you say?
Put that money on Coleman Road and move them out.
I agree,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yep,
I mean, it would be very nice to keep them here.
fix the
But
road.
we don't have much room ourselves, we're going to be short on room, and any idea might preclude an addition to a building for our purposes. And, with our roads being in such deplorable condition, I just don't know that I
They
can.
charge me a service fee every month. I don't know what the service fee is.
That is a good, what you just said there too. We don't have a whole lot of room, Elizabeth, and if we did put on an addition and they moved out to there, then it is going to give us the room in that corner up there also too. So, and I think we have to review all of it. It's a small amount of money here basically to see whether we're going to go ahead and go with this or not. But
I'll make the motion to consider the bid.
is there a second? And moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
4-1, Carol, do you have that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the next one is number 75-2014. consider bids